You've been taught that Earth has 7 continents. 7. It's probably one of the first things you learned in school. But here's something your teacher never told you. Scientists have officially confirmed that there is an 8th continent. A real, fully classified, geologically recognized 8th continent, and 94% of it is hidden beneath the ocean. It's not a myth, it's not a theory. It's called Zealandia, and it stretches across nearly 2 million square miles of the Pacific Ocean, larger than India, almost 2/3 the size of Australia, and it has been hiding right there in plain sight for 375 years. Today, we're going to take you on a journey to Earth's lost continent. 50 mind-blowing, 100% true facts about the 8th continent that nobody told you about. Stay until the end, because the last few facts will completely change how you think about our planet. Segment 1. The Discovery. Let's start at the very beginning, because the story of how Zealandia was found is almost as incredible as the continent itself. Fact number 1. Earth officially has an 8th continent, and it's called Zealandia. Covering nearly 1.9 million square miles, it was formally confirmed as a continent in 2017 after over a century of clues being ignored. Fact 2. Zealandia is larger than India. Let that land, no pun intended. Bigger than an entire subcontinent, yet it never appeared on a single continental map in your lifetime. Fact 3. The road to discovery took more than 100 years. The first real clue came all the way back in 1895, when Scottish geologist Sir James Hector suggested New Zealand was the tip of a vast sunken landmass. The scientific community basically shrugged and moved on. Fact 4. A Dutch explorer may have literally sailed over it in 1642. Abel Tasman was searching for the legendary Terra Australis, the great southern continent, and crossed right over Zealandia's northern edge. He found the coast of New Zealand's South Island and turned back. The continent he was looking for was right beneath his ship the whole time. Fact 5. The name Zealandia was invented by a geophysicist named Bruce Luyendyk in 1995. He argued it was one unified continental mass. For 22 years, almost nobody paid attention. Then, a landmark 2017 paper changed everything. But what actually makes something a continent? And does Zealandia truly qualify? The answer involves geology, satellites, and 4,000 feet of ocean drilling. So, what does it take to be called a continent? Because this is where Zealandia's story gets really scientific and surprisingly dramatic. Fact 6. To qualify as a continent, a landmass needs 4 things: distinct elevation above the surrounding area, a thick continental crust, diverse rock types, and a clear geological structure. Zealandia has all 4. Every single one. The crust averages 20 kilometers thick, compared to just 7 kilometers for regular oceanic crust. Fact 7. Zealandia was once part of Gondwana, the ancient supercontinent that shaped the entire southern hemisphere. It began breaking away 85 million years ago, during the age of dinosaurs. Fact 8. Here's what makes Zealandia unique. As it separated, tectonic forces stretched and thinned its crust, like pizza dough being pulled too far, until the continent simply sank. This is incredibly rare on a continental scale. Fact 9. By around 23 million years ago, Zealandia was fully underwater. No human being has ever walked its full surface. It sank before our species even existed. Fact 10. Today, only 6% of Zealandia is above sea level. That's New Zealand and a few island chains. What you see when you look at those islands? Those are literally the mountain peaks of a drowned continent poking above the waves. Next, the 2017 expedition that drilled 4,000 feet into the ocean floor, and the shocking fossils they pulled up from the deep. In 2017, 32 scientists from 12 countries boarded a research vessel called the Geology Resolution. Their mission: drill into the floor of the Pacific Ocean and figure out what Zealandia was really made of. Fact 11. They drilled at 6 sites across Zealandia in water depths of more than 4,100 feet, 9 weeks at sea. This wasn't a quick survey. This was a full deep ocean science expedition into the unknown. Fact 12. The cores they pulled up recorded 70 million years of Zealandia's history. Over 8,200 feet of sediment, layer by layer, each one a different chapter of Earth's story. Fact 13. Here's where it gets wild. Inside those seafloor cores, they found pollen, spores, shells from creatures that live in warm, shallow water. These are land fossils, in the middle of the deep ocean. The proof was undeniable. Zealandia was once above the surface, hosting full ecosystems. Fact 14. Over 8,000 fossil specimens were studied, several hundred distinct species identified, all from one 9-week voyage. That's one of the most productive fossil hauls in modern ocean science history. Fact 15. And then came the connection no one expected. The formation of the Pacific Ring of Fire, the volcanic zone that generates 75% of Earth's volcanoes and 80% of its earthquakes, is directly linked to why Zealandia sank. A geological catastrophe 40 to 50 million years ago buckled the seabed and sent Zealandia under. Stay with us, because what scientists discovered about Zealandia's elevation history is unlike anything ever seen on a continent before. Fact 16. Parts of northern Zealandia actually rose 1 to 2 kilometers before they sank, like a continent doing a push-up and then collapsing. Fossils prove it happened between 50 and 35 million years ago. This kind of reversal at continental scale is nearly unheard of. Fact 17. How did scientists map something under a kilometer of water? Satellites. Satellite gravity mapping detected tiny variations in Earth's gravitational field, essentially letting them see through the ocean to trace Zealandia's crust below. Fact 18. Zealandia has a completely unique geographic profile. Every other continent has broad, flat lowlands. Zealandia is more than 90% continental slope, steep, dramatic, unlike anything else on Earth. Fact 19. Studying Zealandia gave us a brand new geological concept: subduction-resurrection. Ancient dormant tectonic faults can reawaken after lying quiet for millions of years. This new idea is already changing how scientists understand geology around the world. Fact 20. The complete geological map of Zealandia wasn't even finished until 2023, a full-scale continent, and we only completed mapping it 2 years ago. As one scientist said, we're only just starting to discover Zealandia's secrets. Up next, dinosaur bones, a giant flightless bird, and one of the rarest insects on Earth, all connected to Zealandia's ancient past. Zealandia's past isn't just geology, it's biology, evolution, and some genuinely jaw-dropping prehistoric life. Fact 21. Dinosaur bones have been found in New Zealand and on the Chatham Islands, both part of Zealandia. Sauropods, ankylosaurs, possibly even allosaur-like predators. They lived here after Zealandia had already broken away from Gondwana. Fact 22. A mysterious dinosaur-era foot bone was found on the Chatham Islands, and scientists think more fossils may be lying undiscovered on Zealandia's seafloor right now. Fact 23. When Zealandia was shallow or partially above water, it acted as a land bridge. Animals and plants could use it as a pathway across the South Pacific, which might explain why certain species show up on islands separated by enormous stretches of deep ocean. Fact 24. New Zealand's tuatara, a reptile sometimes called a living fossil, is the sole survivor of an ancient order that predates the dinosaurs' extinction. It exists only because Zealandia kept it isolated from predators for millions of years. Fact 25. The giant moa, a bird that could reach 12 feet tall, once roamed the above-water parts of Zealandia. It evolved with no predators, grew enormous, and then went extinct around 1440 CE, not long after humans arrived. Next, an insect thought to be extinct for 80 years, surviving on a single bush on a rock in the middle of the ocean, and it's all connected to Zealandia. Let's talk about what Zealandia looks like today. The people who live on it, the geography above the waves, and some genuinely surprising facts about the world's most invisible continent. Fact 26. New Zealand, sitting atop Zealandia, is one of the last places on Earth to be settled by humans. Polynesian voyagers arrived only around 1200 to 1300 CE. The entire history of ancient Egypt, Greece, Rome, and China happened while this continent sat empty and unexplored. Fact 27. Ball's Pyramid, the world's tallest sea stack at 1,144 feet, rises dramatically from the Pacific Ocean. It's a volcanic spire that is, technically, part of Zealandia's geology. Most people have never heard of it. Fact 28. In 2001, scientists discovered the Lord Howe Island stick insect, thought to be extinct for 80 years, surviving on Ball's Pyramid. Only 24 individuals. On a single tea tree bush. On a vertical rock face over 1,000 feet high. It's now part of a global conservation program. Fact 29. New Caledonia, another visible peak of Zealandia, contains some of Earth's largest nickel deposits and is so biodiverse that 75% of its plant species exist nowhere else on the planet. Fact 30. New Zealand has 6 species of penguins, more than any other country. Millions of years of isolated evolution on the edges of Zealandia produced some of the world's most unique penguin species, including the critically rare yellow-eyed penguin. Fact 31. If Zealandia had never sunk, it would stretch 4,000 kilometers from north to south, comparable to the width of the continental United States. Fact 32. The Norfolk Ridge, Lord Howe Rise, and Chatham Rise are submerged mountain chains within Zealandia. On a non-sunken continent, these would rival the Alps or the Rockies. Fact 33. The Tasman Sea, between Australia and New Zealand, was literally created when Zealandia broke away. That entire body of water is a scar left by a continental separation 80 million years ago. Fact 34. 3 countries have territory on Zealandia: New Zealand, France via New Caledonia, and Australia via Lord Howe Island. It is uniquely an international continent. Fact 35. Zealandia sits at the boundary of 2 major tectonic plates, the Australian and Pacific plates. This is why New Zealand has active volcanoes, powerful earthquakes, spectacular geysers, and some of the world's most dramatic mountain scenery. Now let's think bigger. What does Zealandia mean? For history, for the future, and for how we understand our own planet. Fact 36. If Zealandia were above water today, it would divide the Pacific Ocean in 2 and completely reshape global trade routes, climate systems, and probably the map of human civilization. Fact 37. The sediment cores drilled from Zealandia record tens of millions of years of climate history. Scientists can use them to calibrate and improve the accuracy of climate prediction models for our future. Fact 38. Under international law, recognizing Zealandia as a continent means New Zealand could potentially claim expanded rights over vast stretches of seafloor, including access to mineral and hydrocarbon resources beneath the Pacific. Fact 39. Zealandia's tectonically active seafloor likely contains hydrothermal vents, deep-sea geysers that support life forms powered entirely by Earth's chemistry, not sunlight. Unknown species may be living there right now, waiting to be found. Fact 40. Zealandia's formal recognition as the 8th continent means that for the first time in modern history, the answer to how many continents does Earth have has officially changed. Fact 41. European mapmakers in the 1600s drew a fictional giant southern continent called Terra Australis on their maps for centuries, believing one must exist. Zealandia was there the whole time. The legend was real. Fact 42. Some researchers believe certain Maori oral traditions describing land formations and geography beneath the sea may encode ancient memory of Zealandia passed down across generations before it was scientifically known. Fact 43. Bruce Luyendijk named Zealandia in 1995. For 22 years, almost nobody paid attention. Then one 2017 paper made it a global headline overnight. Sometimes the biggest discoveries just need someone to finally listen. Fact 44. The very first scientific drilling in this region happened in 1972 and found evidence consistent with a continent. It went largely unnoticed for decades. The data was there, The world just wasn't ready. Fact 45. Geologist Andy Tulloch put it perfectly. This is an example of how something very obvious can take a while to uncover. A continent almost the size of Australia, hidden for 375 years, right beneath the ocean. Fact 46. The first complete geological map of Zealandia was only finished in 2023. An entire continent mapped for the first time in human history just 2 years ago. The story is only beginning. Fact 47. Zealandia's seafloor may hold nickel, cobalt, and manganese, critical materials for batteries and clean energy technology. The sunken continent may play a role in powering the future. Fact 48. Zealandia's discovery has sparked a new question among geologists. Are there other hidden continents? Other submerged landmasses we haven't recognized yet? Zealandia may not be the last surprise Earth has for us. Fact 49. The research vessel Geology's Resolution, which led the Zealandia drilling expedition, has drilled more ocean floor than any other vessel in history. Its Zealandia mission is now considered among the most scientifically significant in the ship's entire career. Fact 50. And here's the most mind-blowing fact of all. We've mapped Mars. We've mapped the Moon. But we've explored less than 25% of our own ocean floor. The confirmation of Earth's 8th continent is a reminder, a powerful, humbling reminder, that our own planet still holds breathtaking secrets. The age of discovery isn't over. It's just moved underwater. And that brings us to the end of our journey beneath the Pacific, to Earth's 8th continent, Zealandia. We were taught that Earth has 7 continents. We memorized them in school. But science doesn't stop. It keeps looking, keeps questioning, keeps drilling 4,000 feet into the ocean floor in search of the truth. And the truth, it turns out, is that our planet is still full of wonder. Zealandia is real. It's vast, it's ancient, and it's been hiding right there, beneath the waves of the Pacific, for longer than human civilization has existed. And now we know it's there. If you made it this far, thank you. If even one of these facts made you see our planet differently, then we did our job. Drop a comment below. Which fact surprised you the most? We'd love to know. And if you love facts that make you go, wait, really? There's a lot more where this came from. See you in the next one.